Let's explore why cutting onions makes us cry. When cutting onions, many people experience tears streaming down their face. It's a universal phenomenon that affects almost everyone. This common experience has a scientific explanation based on chemistry. In this video, we'll explore the chemical process behind this reaction and learn methods to prevent those tears. So why exactly do onions make us cry? Inside an onion lies the chemical culprit that makes us cry. Onions contain sulfur compounds that are stored within specialized cells. When we cut an onion with a knife, we damage these cells. This damage releases enzymes called alliinases that were previously separated from their substrates. These enzymes are the key to starting the chemical reaction that leads to tears. These alliinase enzymes convert compounds called sulfoxides into sulfenic acid. This conversion is the crucial step that eventually produces the gas that makes us cry. And that's the beginning of the chemical process that leads to our tears. The key irritant that makes us cry when cutting onions is a compound called Syn-Propanethial-S-Oxide, or SPSO for short. This compound forms when sulfenic acid, which is created when onion cells are damaged, undergoes a rapid transformation. Sulfenic acid is highly unstable and quickly rearranges itself into SPSO. During this transformation, the hydrogen atom detaches, and the molecule rearranges to form a more stable structure with a double bond between sulfur and oxygen. The resulting SPSO is a volatile gas that easily becomes airborne, floating up from the cutting board to your eyes. Unlike what many people believe, it's not onion juice that makes you cry, but specifically this gaseous compound. SPSO acts as a lacrimatory agent, which means it stimulates tear production when it comes into contact with the sensitive nerve endings in your eyes. Now that we understand how SPSO forms, let's see how it travels from the cutting board to your eyes. When an onion is cut, the volatile compound Syn-Propanethial-S-Oxide is released from the damaged cells. This compound is a volatile gas that easily becomes airborne. The gas molecules rise from the cut onion surface and travel through the air. The gas is attracted to the moisture in our eyes. Our tear film contains water, which readily dissolves these compounds. Once dissolved, the compound reacts with water to form a mild acid that irritates the eyes, triggering the tear response. And that's how the gas from a cut onion reaches our eyes and triggers the tear response we're all familiar with. The tear response mechanism explains why we cry when cutting onions. To understand this process, let's examine a cross-section of the human eye. The lacrimal gland, located above the eye, produces tears that keep our eyes moist and protected. When Syn-Propanethial-S-Oxide gas from cut onions reaches our eyes, it initiates a chain reaction. This compound reacts with the water in our tears to form sulfuric acid. The sulfuric acid irritates the nerve endings in our cornea, which is densely packed with sensory receptors. The irritation sends a signal to our brain, which triggers the lacrimal glands to produce more tears. These additional tears help wash away the irritant, protecting your eye from damage. Let's summarize this defensive tear response step by step. This natural protection mechanism helps preserve our vision when exposed to irritants. Onions evolved their tear-inducing chemicals as a sophisticated defense mechanism against predators in the wild. When animals or insects attempt to eat an onion, they encounter these defensive chemicals. The irritating compounds released by the onion act as a chemical weapon, causing discomfort to potential predators. As animals encountered the irritating compounds and learned to avoid onions, the plants with stronger defenses survived and reproduced. Over thousands of years, this defensive adaptation became stronger, allowing wild onions to thrive in their natural habitat. So while the chemical defense makes cooking with onions a tearful experience for us, it was actually crucial for the onion's evolutionary success. To prevent crying while cutting onions, we can use physical barriers that block or redirect the irritating gas. The first strategy is to wear goggles. These create a physical barrier that prevents the gas from reaching your eyes. Another effective method is cutting onions under running water. The water dissolves the irritating compounds and washes them away before they reach your eyes. Using a vent hood or exhaust fan above your cutting area can effectively remove the irritating gases before they reach your face. A simple table fan pointed across your cutting board can blow the irritating gas away before it rises to your eyes. Let's compare cutting onions with and without these physical barriers. The difference is quite dramatic. As we've seen, using physical barriers like goggles, water, vent hoods, or fans can effectively prevent the irritation caused by onion gases. Temperature significantly affects the chemical reaction that produces the tear-inducing compounds in onions. One effective method is to chill your onions in the refrigerator or freezer for about 15 minutes before cutting them. Cold temperatures slow down the enzyme activity in onions, reducing the production of the irritating gas compounds. Another effective approach is cutting onions near a flame or hot surface. The heat helps break down the tear-causing gas before it reaches your eyes. The heat causes the irritant compounds to break down before they can become airborne and reach your eyes. Let's compare how different temperatures affect the onion enzymes. At room temperature, enzyme activity is highest, while both very cold and very hot temperatures reduce the reaction. To summarize, you can either chill your onions before cutting or cut them near a heat source to reduce tears. Both methods alter the chemical reaction that produces irritating compounds. Let's wrap up our journey through the science of onions. The chemistry behind onion tears involves an enzyme that converts amino acids to sulfenic acids, which then forms Syn-Propanethial-S-Oxide gas. This gas reacts with moisture in your eyes to create a mild sulfuric acid irritant. The most effective methods for preventing onion tears include using physical barriers like goggles, chilling onions before cutting, and employing proper cutting techniques with good ventilation. Modern science has given us several solutions, like specialized onion choppers and even tear-free onion varieties known as sunions, which have been bred to contain lower levels of the compounds that cause irritation. Cooking is essentially chemistry in action. Understanding the science behind cooking processes helps us develop better techniques and tools, making our culinary experiences more enjoyable. Next time you cook with onions, put science to work in your kitchen and enjoy tear-free food preparation.